I'm Brian Harrison from iHome Entertainment, and this is our show, That's Life. And this is...
I'm Thaddeus McCandless, and I'm the co-host, and today we're talking about diet.
Yes, and I'm amazed about you could go to the supermarket, the fast food restaurants, and see all of this,
all this food that
and a lot of it's not always healthy.
Yeah, and today people are like, they're like, well, I don't want to go home and cook food because it's too hard.
Oh yeah.
So they're like, fast food. It's it's simpler, faster, but it's not, it's not that good for you.
No. And that's the point, and they always complain, well, our nation's so fat, and this is, it's a problem. But most of the people I believe, who are fat, so, you could get fat from eating healthy stuff too. I mean, whole wheat bread.
You could be overweight.
Eating some of the healthy whole grain stuff too. But a lot of it is because people go to like a restaurant maybe 3-4 times a day. They don't really cook anymore.
Now that reminds me of a good example of a story. I used to work at a fast food restaurant, which I won't mention the name, but there was one person that would come, people would come, in the morning, have a cup of coffee, and you would see people regularly, every day, or, and they'd come either for morning or dinner, and it'd be a normal, a routine thing. So this one guy would come up to the drive-in, probably 2 or 3 times out of the week when I worked there, because I worked part-time. He'd come there, and his seat would be tilted back, and his stomach nearly touched the steering wheel. And he would order the same thing.
No.
He would order the same thing, and it's really sad. He was order the same thing, and then he was like, and I want a Diet Coke, and make sure it's diet. And I was like, well, that really isn't going to help, because Diet Coke isn't, healthy. Yeah. It was like people have a mindset that just because it says diet or fat-free or, isn't really going to help you in the long run.
And Diet Coke, I'm going to mention that real quickly on the area of Diet Coke, because what happens is they think, it's worse than the real stuff.
Yeah, it's got a lot more.
And not only has it got a lot more, it doesn't especially not have caffeine out of that sugar stuff, but they put a lot more in it to make it so it's diet. So it's actually, I've heard it's a lot worse than the real stuff.
Yeah, and I think most people have, most people do have that mindset, where it's just, it says diet, it's gonna make me lose weight, or it's gonna help me in the long run, and it just doesn't, I mean, even with like smoothies and ice cream or whatever, they add like for milkshakes, they add raspberries and different fruit, but they also,
But how much of it percentage is actually raspberries?
Yes.
It may say raspberry shake, but you may get like 5 raspberries.
Five or 6 raspberries and a whole bunch of milk and ice cream. Which it's good, people like it, I mean,
but you don't eat it all every day.
No, and that's the thing. So what are some of the things that we could do,
there's
that
rice,
are good for dieting?
There's a good, you make sure you eat a certain amount of, there's a small chart for protein. We're gonna have to show the chart sometime. We're gonna have to bring it up on our video thing. Of the food pyramid too. But there's a new food thing that's come out that I've learned, and they show a plate. And they divide how much of it should be protein and how much of it should be other things. Now, granted, people don't realize that when you exercise, too, you may need more or, stuff, too. But, it does give you a reality that we don't need certain stuff every day. Now, I don't mind that maybe one meal we can have, like, a sandwich. But, try to eat, like, more family cooked meals, I guess would be the better way to describe it. Because, even in every meal, you're going to have something that's going to be protein. So I don't think it's necessarily wrong. But it's those people who eat, mainly I think it's fast food because it's so quick, it's so easy, and it's because it's so fast, they don't really take time to prepare it. Like at home,
it's just kind of thrown together.
It may take an hour to prepare a meal. So.
Yeah, which is, and those meals have a lot more, they're a lot more healthier, they have more to them, and more, physically, they're much better, for you.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's I guess balance would be too. It takes, I mean, it's probably it's not good for you, but it's okay to sometimes have like I mean, people want a smoothie or they want some kind of a cake, but it's like if you eat it every day, it's gonna be an issue.
Oh, yeah.
But if you have like maybe a little bit, every once in a while, because some people I don't know they get that craving.
Yeah, I think it's okay to have one every once in a while. I mean, I don't think in today's world we gotta understand we're in sin. If you believe in God and you believe in, even if you don't, you just realize this world is really not perfect. No matter what we do to try to make it heaven, it isn't a heaven paradise. Just because they live next to a golf course doesn't mean you're a golfer, you know, something like that, I guess. But we try to make this a paradise world, and it isn't. Our food's imperfect. Even fruits like E. coli happen in the melons, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a perfect example.
And spinach too.
Yeah, spinach. There's stuff that's, yeah. So you can't, but you try your best. That's the point, you know, because you want a healthy family. You know, you want. I mean, you're amazed. You look at it. You may want to run with your grandchildren and things like that. So diet is very important. What you eat, like that's why more of the whole foods. We gotta be careful because you can go too far. You know, oh, I'm just gonna eat meat. I don't care. You know, okay, it is your life. So we're just, you know, we're here because we care. You know, and we're here because, you know, it's a topic. It's that's a part of life. That's why this show is called That's Life. It's a part of who we are. You know, and you know, I need to start thinking about my health a little bit too. You know, more. And exercise with somebody. You know, I found out if I exercise with somebody, I want to exercise. If I do it by myself, I'm not going to be able to do it. So
you don't feel, if you have somebody there, you
feel motivated.
Yeah, you have. And if somebody else, like if you both need to work like on a diet thing, then you both can help each other out. You're like, you know, partners, and you can help each other out because you know you have the same needs.
Oh yeah,
which is good to have. Yes.
Anything else to add to that?
I don't know. This is a really big topic. I mean, another thing, you know, which we could probably talk about later is exercising, which we could probably do at another time. Yeah. But I would say that the most important things that we've covered in this session would be probably the balance of what you eat, and, you know, not everything is... you don't take everything by, like, if it says diet, then, you know, because sometimes it's not going to really help.
No.
It's, you know, you got to be really careful.
About what you do, yes.
Yeah.
So... anyway, want to wrap this show up and call it good, you know, I guess. So, I mean, we'll be discussing more stuff, but, you know, I just want to say goodbye to everybody. And, please comment.
Yes.
We got to add that comment. And please give us more ideas, because sometimes you're just talking about, it's just us too. It's what we see in life, and sometimes we just get, you know, we're thinking of things and we're trying, but comment, you know, hey, what do I do about this?
If you have, like, a topic or something that you want us to discuss or something, like, post it or send a message or something. And we'll look into it, and we'll give our thoughts, and
we'll try to get information on more health stuff, because we're not doctors, but we look into things. You know, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out, hey, my body, something's going wrong. You know, a doctor won't always fix everything. You think about it. You know, how many times you've been doctor's office. Sorry, can't say that word, to solve something. But yet they haven't solved it, and a lot of it could be solved through your diet, the way you eat, change some things. You know. Eat less of this, eat more of that, you know, and so you'll, you know, change life. But we got to wrap this up, and we got to get going, so don't afraid to comment, and openly comment so other people can see it. If you have to send a private one, don't be afraid. I will still, you know, we'll still read them, but please send open comment so that when that question's asked, people will see that that question's been asked, and we can answer those for the next health talk.
And I'm probably do a topic on it in the future. But anyways, I'm Thaddeus McCandless, the co-host of That's Life.
And I'm Brian Harrison, the host, and we want to tell you goodbye.
Bye.